Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Invin. Today I am going to be bringing you guys the best long-range meta classes after the update that we've just had on May 7th for Season 3 of Warzone. This is going to be things like the Krig 6, whether the AMAX is still good after the nerf, and obviously the FARA long-range build, all those kind of things, what is still viable, what the update means, and what you can expect to see going forward to be the meta shift. Now if you do go on to enjoy this video, make sure you do drop a like down below, and if you are new to the channel, make sure you drop a subscribe. We are very very close to 1.5k subs. So your support would be much appreciated with that one. And without further ado, let's jump into today's video. Okay everybody, so these are going to be the best long range classes since the new update to Warzone. And like I said at the start there, the new update did bring a few changes, mainly to the stocks surrounding all the ARs and SMGs, meaning that the movement speed has been reduced on pretty much everything by quite a decent amount. But because this is across the board on majority of the most used stocks, this isn't really affecting things all that much. Really, it just means everything's a little bit slower and you've got a little bit less forgivement when you do miss those shots. To be able to move around, you do have to focus more on actually hitting your first few shots and winning that gunfight by getting your shots on point first. So that is going to be a more like sort of skill gap based thing, and kind of what's happened in regards to the AMAX and the FARA getting nerfed is their damage output has been slightly reduced at closer distances or longer distances respectively, and as a result of that, what it means is that you can still get a very fast TTK on these, but only if you're hitting headshots and only if you're consistently hitting body shots from longer ranges as well, which means that basically they're rewarding accuracy and higher hit rates over players who just spray and pray with these weapons that were classed as overpowered before. So I guess it's kind of good because it's got a higher skill gap for most of the weapons and most of the gameplay, but at the same time it does make it a ton harder to get some kills. So we'll go over a few different things here today and kind of go over what my favorite classes at the moment are and kind of what I've got going on in the mix. So you'll see at the top here we've got like the MP5 from Modern Warfare with the LW3 because there was a buff to the snipers, so obviously this is a really good one to try out. But then I've got things that are more familiar like the AMAX Mag 10, AK and FARA, all that good stuff. So we're going to go through these classes. We'll start off with this MP5 one. So the Modern Warfare MP5 is actually really good, tried and tested method. We talked about that in the close range meta build. I've paired this with the LW3. Now this one is really good because of the buff that's happened to snipers. They're a lot quicker, and the LW3's damage is really nice. It's still obviously a one-shot headshot down. You can get a chest shot on full crack people, which is really nice. Gives it a little bit of a damage advantage over the Kar 98, but it's not quite as fast. So I'll go over a Kar 98 class in a moment as well. It's up to you guys which you prefer to use, personal preference. But I've been trying out the LW3 and it's actually really fun. So give it a go, see what you think. I'd probably still stick with the Kar as my main sniper, but this is the attachment you want for the LW3. So it's the wrapped suppressor, the Tiger Team barrel, the Raider pad stock, the SFOD speed grip, and the airborne elastic wrap. Gives it a ton of mobility, really good ADS speed, very high damage. Obviously bullet velocity is up on that, which is what you want for Cold War weapons. So that's a really good, nice mix. And another thing to talk about here is the perks. Now on each class you either want EOD, Overkill and Amped, or EOD, Ghost and Amped, depending whether you're running like a fully loaded class or a class that's simply for regaining, or you've just got a Ghost class for later in the game when you pick up a second loadout. You always want Overkill or Ghost, and you always want Amped and EOD. They're the best perks to have in those slots. It's pointless having other ones. The only other one you maybe would consider is Double Time here, because you do get a little bit extra running, but the rest of them are completely pointless. And with the third one there, the only other thing I would maybe potentially run, I've seen people running Tracker, but again, really here Amped is probably the best one because you can switch weapons a lot faster, which is really pivotal and can win you gunfights a lot of the time. Now we're going to move on to the AMAX and the Mag 10. Again, all of the SMGs and stuff I talked about in yesterday's video, so I will link that on screen for you guys if you want to go ahead and click on that on the end screen. It'll talk about all the close range meta weapons, but this is going to be specifically for long range, so your ARs, your snipers, that kind of thing. And then obviously if you combine the videos, I will make a full best top 5 loadouts in a couple of days time when I've got fine-tuned down to the exact T of what the best ones are. But this is going to cover the long range, so you guys can mix and match and find out your own loadouts for now. So we're going with the AMAX. Still a very good weapon. Does require a slight more bit of recoil control, does require a bit more accuracy, so it's a slightly higher skill gap on using the weapon, but still very good if you are able to hit those shots. Same setup as we had before, so the monolithic suppressor, XRK Zodiac barrel, VLK 3 times optic or whatever your preferred one is there, but the VLK is very, very nice. Commando foregrip, 45 round mags, you'll be good to go with this one. You'll be lasering people just as much as you were before. A little extra bullet here and there, time to kill, but overall, still generally one of the fastest weapons in the game and one of the best weapons in the game for damage. So really, really good. Now, this is one of my favourite classes at the moment, the Krig 6 and the LC10. Really, really powerful weapons, both Black Ops weapons. You are going to want to build bullet velocity on both of these respectively, and again, I went over the LC10 in the last video, but this one is the Krig 6. You want the agency suppressor, range of barrel, aerial axle 3 times, or again your preferred scope, field agent grip, and the Stanag 60. We don't go for fast mags on the Krig 6 there because obviously we want that ADS time so we can bring the gun up quicker, makes it a lot more agile. But if you are going to play it very, very far back with this weapon and only use this like very long distances, then you can use the fast mags, but I would always stick to just plain 60 so you don't get that ADS reduction as much. Always a better option. Really, really good steady recoil on that one. Very, very quick TTK, which is very nice. Just a solid build. Definitely try it out if you've been sleeping on the Krig 6 and the LC10. Try them now. Trust me, it's a good one. I've then got a regain class. Now, this is something important to talk about. This is one where I've got Ghost on, but more importantly, on the weapon, I've built the CR AMAX as sort of a medium to close range build with the perk fully loaded. Now, this means you spawn in with a ton of ammo so that if you do get into late game or you're coming back late game when someone's brought you back from your team, whatever it is, when the gulag, you've not got weapons, you are going to want to make sure you've got a gun there where you don't have to worry about ammo. That one comes fully loaded, so it's full clips. You can get straight into the fight and start spraying down enemies, stealing loadouts, etc. And you've already got Ghost with that one as well, so you're going to be staying off minimaps, staying off your heartbeat sensors there, off UAVs, all that good stuff with the silencer. It's a really, really good suggestion. So if you guys don't have that, pair it with something that you're confident with as a secondary as well, because you may need to use it, you never know, and it's really worth doing. So definitely recommend having one of those. Now, this is another really good class. The FARA as a long-range build is excellent now, because obviously it's been reduced on the strafe speed. It's still good as an SMG build, and I still do have one of my classes with that on, but the long-range build is excellent. So this is the setup you want for it. The GRU suppressor, Liberator barrel, SUSAT multi-zoom. Again, now you can change this out for, I don't know, maybe the aerial axle 3 times or the Royal Cross 4 times if you really like that sight. I'm not keen on the ADS on that though. But the SUSAT multi-zoom's got that fast ADS time, which is really, really nice. 2 to 4 times magnification, always good, so you can switch between them, and it's a really solid setup there. Spetnaz 50 round, again, so that you don't have as much ADS reduction as you would with the fast mags, which is really nice. You do have a little bit of reload quickness like it says there, but it's really not that much, and it's actually going to be quite worth because you don't get as much ADS reduction, whereas if you look at something like this, you're going to get a ton more. And then obviously the Spetnaz speed grep there, just again for that recoil control, because you are going to be using it as a long range build, picking off people from a distance. Very good fire rate on it, quick TTK, so if you can hit the accurate shots with this, the grip helps out a ton. Obviously, Liberator barrel there, bullet velocity, it's what you want. Say no more about a Cold War weapon. And same here, bullet velocity, effective damage range, suppression, and vertical recoil control. Very, very good. So, super good build. If you've tried it in close range and you liked it, try it in long range. It's crazy, it's nutty, it does bits. So, you definitely want to try it out. Very good weapon. Then we've got, obviously, the Kar 98. I paired this with the FFAR, so I'm actually going to go over both guns here because, obviously, that is kind of like a close-range gun in this case, but it can be used at medium to long range as well if you're accurate with it, although the FFAR has had a bit of a nerf really going forward, so you're probably better off with something like the AK, the FARA, the AMAX, anything like that, or one of the close-range SMGs, LC10, you know, close-range FARA build, anything like that. But on the Kar 98, it's a similar build to what we have always had. Monolithic suppressor, Singard custom arms, tac laser, sniper scope, F-tac sport combat. You can put a variable zoom on. It doesn't reduce the glint now, unfortunately, but you can put that on if you prefer having that on. Pairing that, obviously, with the FFAR class I've got here, which is agency suppressor, reinforced barrel, field agent grip, Salvo 50, and Serpent wrap. Fast ADS, quick time to kill, very, very nice weapon, and definitely one of the best snipers in the game still. Obviously, it hasn't had much changes to it because it was the Cold War snipers that had a buff, but the Kar 98, obviously, overall, is probably one of the fastest and quickest mobility snipers, ADS times, all that good stuff, so it is going to be a really good weapon to use in Warzone. And then moving on to kind of like the final builds here, we've obviously got the AMAX back to where it was, Kar 98 back on that last one there, and another regain class, as I was talking about before, with the Bullfrog. If you haven't used the Bullfrog, again, try it out. It is nutty at the moment. If you are able to hit those body shots every time instead of limbs, and you are hitting headshots in the mix, you're going to get a ridiculously high TTK on this one. one, which is really, really good. And if you haven't seen yesterday's video talking about that, definitely go and watch that after this video here, because it talks about all of those TTK adjustments that we've had to the SMGs and what was the previous meta. So yeah, definitely try those out. Still very similar guns to before, are still really, really good. It's just everything is now more in line, so you can use things like the Ram 7, really good sniper support weapon. You've also got things coming up the mix, kind of like the Stoner, the RPK. People are enjoying those weapons more, maybe even see the return of the Bruin going forward, depending what changes we see. So keep an eye on the channel, make sure you subscribe with notification bells turned on so you do stay up to date with all of those changes, because every single time it's an update, I will be bringing you guys a video updating you on what the changes are and what we can do with that. Also, make sure you do like the video if you have enjoyed and found this one useful. Let me know in the comments which class you're going to be rocking out of these lot. I'm definitely using the Krig 6 and the LC10 probably the most at the moment. It's a ton of fun. And the FARA and the LC10, those classes are a ton of fun for me, but let me know which ones you guys are going to use the most. Other than that, thank you very much for watching. Take care and peace.